Good afternoon. Earlier I mentioned the name of a cousin in a video, Randy Hartman. I just wanted to say that I've never known him. They started getting with the day-to-day harassing a few years ago, but personally I never knew them. Randy and his brothers Mark and Todd, they're with the family abuse and an operation that they're very pervasive about. They're very rich, and they always like to make sure that I'm forced to be as broke as possible. I never encountered them because they're from Nebraska, and my father was from Nebraska, and I encountered a clue about what his attitude was early in life when one day, a couple of years before he staged his death in early '67, he looked at me and said, "You're Randy, Mark, and Todd." Naming three guys that I'd never met before. They're similar age. One of them's older, one of them's about the same age, and the other one's about a year younger. But I'd never encountered them, and from what I've heard them assert of themselves, according to who portrays themselves as being that they're all gays. But personally, I always remained normal instead. So they were always causing secret and subversive friction against me from far away in Nebraska, and these days they also emphasize Salt Lake City. And I just wanted to emphasize that really because of their wealth and everything that they were able to get around, and they were with portraying themselves as though being representative of me, but I never knew them. I only encountered them one time back in the summer of '67, months after my father staged his death in Miami. My mother and myself and my sister and grandmother traveled on a train to Denver where they had relatives. And there we spent a night in Lincoln, Nebraska also, where I met the cousins. I guess we stayed over one night is all. And I hadn't known any of them since. Unfortunately, a couple of years ago, there was really a serious concern because a man alleging being Mark Hartman threatened that he's a murderer. Mark Hartman of Lincoln, Nebraska, and possibly the Denver area. And I don't agree about that at all. And that has actually been said of Albert Hartman also. So they're the persons that I always seek to avoid. And if they weren't so secretive, that I'd have wanted to go to a court and get a restraining order against them. So anyway, I just wanted to emphasize that mentioning them by name doesn't mean that I knew them, because I haven't encountered them. There was one incident back in about '98 where a man who looked like Mark Hartman was on Village Plaza shopping center when I was standing in front of Publix one day, and he looked toward me like he was getting ready to walk over to me and introduce himself. But then a strange man walked out of Publix, fumbling his hands around his zipper area, looking really strange. And so Mark Hartman followed the other man, heavy man, out to his car and got in it. I don't know whether they were friends or whatever, but it ended up being alleged that some vice cops arrested him. So other than that, I don't really know that much about them. Certainly not enough to summarize in a message like this. But personally, I'm just continuing to hope everyone's continuing to be safe and having a good day.